So today I want to talk about independence and why true independence doesn't exist. And there's nothing wrong with that really. You know, like after all, humans are social creatures and we need each other to live, to survive and thrive. And for example, like if we're running a business or a brand, you could start off by yourself and small, but eventually when it's gonna grow, there's going to be too much work for one person to do, and you're going to have to delegate that work to other people. And by doing that, you're going to have to network with people or be able to communicate and work with other people. And why I'm talking about this is because there's a big demand for hyper individualism in today's society. And I feel like this is very much spurred on by the system of capitalism, and we can really see the effects that's having on our society today, especially like with late stage capitalism. So pretty much true independence just doesn't exist. And in today's world, who you know is just as important or even more important than what you know. And you can see this in today's job market where degrees now seemingly aren't enough to get that entry level position that you wanted. And on the other hand, you see people getting let free just because they know a certain somebody within that company who sent them like a recommendation. And that really just shows the importance of connections within society, like social connections and networking. And I feel like when I say this is that it's not about forcing connections or just trying to know as many people as possible or trying to know people who can like bring you up or like a stepping stone, because like we can see that you're trying to use someone as an asset rather than trying to really connect with them as a person. And really we should be pursuing finding people that truly are for us, that we can truly connect with. And the best way to do that is by staying true to yourself and simply being yourself. And people think that they have to fit into a certain mold or have to like sacrifice certain things just to fit in with the right crowd, just to be accepted by a certain group or whatever. And I felt like that for a while as well. There's times I felt lonely. I thought I had to, act a certain way, or I had to like sacrifice certain things just to be liked in general. And I feel like that in itself is just you putting on a performance to be accepted by the masses, when you should be staying true to yourself regardless of whether people will admire you or hate you for that. I also feel like there's a lack of knowledge on how to generally connect with people without making it seem transactional. And this is really just a result of the capitalistic society that we live in, that heavily promotes this idea of being self-made and independent, when in reality that's simply infeasible in the long run, and really just leads to like a rise in loneliness as well. And social media now is also another big factor, even though it was originally meant to connect us and that's what it's created for. Now it seems like it's the one thing that's really driving people apart by spreading extreme ideologies and isn't really reflective of the real world. And pride is also another factor as well. I feel like, I don't know if it's just the UK, but I feel like now there's just a fear of being seen trying or being seen as desperate and needy, especially when it comes to looking for connection. And I feel like that's the one thing that's like really holding people back. Like they're scared to look like they're doing too much, they're scared to really put themselves out there or be themselves, because they don't want to seem like they're putting in too much effort in. Like they don't want to look like they need people or connections, but in reality, like all of us do. And that's simply just how we were built. And I was also I also thought the same way for quite a while. I thought that I'd be stronger, and I thought I'd be stronger, and more respected if I didn't have to like rely on people for anything. If I could do everything by myself. But in reality, what it did was just like push me away from opportunities that I could just connect with people casually, and it ultimately just made me more reserved as a person. And I feel like we should be more open, and a lot of people are closed off and scared of being vulnerable. So I feel like that's what it all boils down to, especially like within a lot of men as well, that they feel that being vulnerable is seen as a weakness, and that they have to be very stoic or emotionless like 24/7. But that's just not human at the end of the day. Like a real strength does come from opening up and talking about things that are bothering you, regardless of whether it makes you feel like a burden or not. And I get it. Like some people have been hurt in the past by opening up, or had their feelings validated by people that they trusted or thought they trusted. But I don't want to be harsh, but I feel like that shouldn't be where you give up on trying to connect with people, or trying to, find your person, or trying to like be more vulnerable, intimate in general. And people also need to realize, just as we need people, they need us too. Like there are people in our lives that rely on us as well. And it's just a vice versa thing. And that's what I wanted to talk about.